Good afternoon. I wanted to do just an overview of just Oakley's available aviators here, because a lot of people are looking for an aviator, but when they look at Oakley, a lot of times what you think of and you see is the sport frames. But actually Oakley has a lot of aviator-like frames out there that they still have today in various forms, whether that's their C5 alloys or titanium in the case of some of the new ones that are out. So we'll start with the Holbrook Ti. So the Holbrook, traditionally is just like a, that throwback style, but when they made the titanium version, the Ti, they made it into an aviator. So it's lightweight, it's titanium, so it's a more costly one, but it has that, aviator double bridge that is standard. It has spring-based hinges, and it has good displacement all around. It's a base 6. So you do have light protrusion here on the sides as a result, but that's just part of the deal with these because they are a base 6. They're more flat. They're not a high wrap, but they sit nice. And when we're talking about aviators, aviator characteristics typically narrow, metal stems that are narrow, lightweight, teardrop in the case of like the common everyday, what do I want to call it? Not contemporary, but like your traditional aviators were around, and we have some of those. But your new, modern aviator come in both round and square. And so in the case of the Holbrook, they're square, they're titanium, they're ultra lightweight. Like I said, they're not a high wrap, they're a base 6, and they have that double bridge, and they're just a very clean lines, simple aviator, square. So that's the Holbrook Ti. You can get these on sale from time to time. They come in black, sapphire, and some others, and you can get custom lenses for them. An older aviator frame that you could still get today if you go to like Zone Optics, for example, is the Tailpin. This is the traditional style aviator. This was a rimless design. It's a base 6 as well. It has a little bit more of a wrap. It also has spring-based hinges. Extremely narrow, so definitely more like that traditional aviator and the teardrop style. And this is probably my favorite Oakley aviator they make. It it personifies it, but it's ultra lightweight. This was released in the mid 2010s, and like I said, there's still plenty of people out there that have these that are reselling them. In the event the lenses are damaged, they're easy to replace. It's got that double bridge, but they just notch in on both sides, and you just pull away if you've watched my review before, and then you can pop in and out new lenses very easily. These are definitely they're unmistakably Oakley because of the the stylized stem here, but what they are very all-day comfortable, lightweight. Use the little teardrop air cushioned nose pads, and you do have a decent selection of third-party lenses for these in the event the OEM lenses get damaged. You can get the lenses for these from Seek Optics, from Saucer, from Sunglass Fix in Australia, which is what these are. These in particular here are a steel blue or a light blue mirror by Sunglass Fix, and they come from Australia. They have nice anti-glare protection, and yeah, so that's the round version of that aviator. You can get the square version and called the Tailhook or the Tailback in its smaller form. And the Tailhook also, again, still available from sellers online, because when they were discontinued for whatever reason, they just weren't as popular as you would think. So you can still get them at a pretty decent deal, brand new in box. So with these, again, have that nice sleek shared stem with a little notch, gives it a little bit of Oakley flair, but it still has that professional look for a business sharp looking aviator frame. Has the double bridge, same kind of lenses. These are the OEM ice lenses, and they have that faux etching. Even though it's a rimless design, they have a faux frame etching. So if that's not for you, no big deal, you can always change it out. So the tail hook and the tailback are the same, except for the tail hook is a bigger height and width slightly. So that gives you another aviator option that's rimless if you like that. Then you have frames they still support today. So back to what's still readily available today. If the Ti is outside of your budget, we'll start with another square aviator. You have the Gauge 8. It used to come in medium and large. Now it's just available in large. Technically, Oakley classifies it as an extra large. It's a base 8, so it's a higher wrap curved base, a little bit higher wrap here. It also has shocks in the, or spring hinges, but they use what's called the Oakley mono shock. So it's a bar and it bends with it, and there's a gap here where it comes together that allows the stem to point in if necessary. They're made of the C5 alloy. They're easy to adjust to temple stems if you need to for your fit. They have a nice high wrap. They come in several colors, ways still. You know, they originally, when released, came out with the original ruby and things like that. But you know, they're again very lightweight, good displacement, nice wrap, not as much light protrusion on the sides, and again, you can get lots of lens replacements for these from Sunglass Fix, Revent, Fuse, Seek, and now Line Gear Japan if you want emerald or ice, because a year and a half ago I sent mine to Japan to Line Gear so they could make a measurement reference, and now they produce lenses for it. So I got a pair in ice and a pair in emerald as a result. And then lastly, of the ones that I own, probably my favorite, well no, I got two more. Of my favorite aviators is the Crosshair, which they currently still produce, the 2012 generation. It's a nice aviator. It uses, again, has those ultra thin Oakley stylized stems, but it has a nice high, tall lens, high wrap, you know, so definitely protects from getting, you know, light from the sides in. And again, lots of third-party lens options, since they only sell these with black and things like that. They originally came with emerald, ice, and some others, but they've since been discontinued when Oakley discontinued those lenses in the late 2010s. But again, you can get any color you want because you've got third-party options from Revent, Fuse, Seek, Line Gear Japan, and Sunglass Fix. So if there's a color you want it in and they don't make it, you can just order it, and it's nice. These in particular right here are the Fire Red Mirror from Sunglass Fix. They give a nice natural blue similar to the or a neutralish blue-gray, similar to what the original Ruby was, that these never came with, so I was able to add them. But at the same time, I also sent these to Japan so that, again, I could get the emerald lenses replaced and put in with brand new, just like it. Same thing with the ice. Since those lenses have been discontinued, I was able to send it to Japan and get them done. And now we're on to my last one. One of my favorites out there is the Deviation. The Deviation is a square aviator, and again, you can get this one too if you are diligent and look around. You can find folks on the Oakley forum or on eBay that have these. They're a nice square aviator with the double bridge, unique styling on the stem, tall lens and wide. And again, same thing. All those third-party companies I mentioned make them. And then the ones that I don't have, but are also good, you've got the Plaintiff, the Warden, the there's a bunch. Those are a little bit harder to find though. That series, the Plaintiff, Warden, all of those that are from the especially from that time period, just because they are highly sought after. So Plaintiff squared, again, a square versus a round. Nice high base curve, and then you've got what's the other one? It'll come to me, but anyway. So again, everybody likes to think of Oakley as a sport frames, but they definitely make a lot of metal, specifically aviator style, that are very attractive and have good coverage, and in various scales. The one I didn't mention, because it wasn't intended to be an aviator, but when they recreated it and re-released it, is the Wiretap. The Wiretap prior to this had a single bridge, But in the new release that they came out with a couple of years ago, they actually added a double bridge, putting it into that aviator-like material, because it's got a small, you know, side profile, spring hinges, which is nice, and then it's got very narrow. They're wide. It's a base 8, but they're not tall lenses. But you know, very nice, sleek. I wouldn't quantify it as an aviator, but they did add some of those characteristics again with the double bridge and everything. So if anything, this is more of a sport aviator in the metal family. And so again, it's got great pliability in the hinge section to give you plenty of comfort for all day wear and tear, you know, without putting any pressure on your nose, on your temples and everything. These are a great sport style sunglass that they still make and cover. So I think that hits everything I have. As always, if you got any questions, leave a comment in the reviews. Have a great day.